You're going to want to see the capsule from which Ed White performed America's first spacewalk. Hey, I'm John Williams, and I'm at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. And this is the Gemini IV capsule, which was the capsule where Ed White performed the first American spacewalk. So amazing from that seat that you're seeing right there. So, the program Gemini, the main objectives were to assess the human body over a long duration spaceflight to see how it changed and if there were any issues, and also to test the astronauts' ability to stay normal and be able to do tasks while in long duration flight, and also to practice rendezvousing and docking and to return safely to Earth. So those were the goals. So Gemini IV launched on June 3rd, 1965 on a Titan II rocket from Launch Complex 19. Really cool. It had on the back here a second stage of the Titan. And what's interesting about that second stage is that when they made it to orbit, the second stage separated, but then to perform the first type of rendezvousing, this capsule, James McDivitt, the commander, he took the capsule and tried to get it as close to that stage as possible. And it was about practicing rendezvous and docking in lunar orbit. So when he tried to do that, he found himself losing it, falling backwards, and that is because NASA didn't know that when you fire your thrusters and push yourself towards something, you're breaking your orbit, and you're basically changing the whole speed, velocity, and your direction, and changing orbits. NASA did not know that was the case. They assumed that they could just go right into something. But no, you had to plot your course and then do a set of burns to slowly get there. So they wasted so much fuel of their allowed fuel to use on that, so they just gave up, but it was a little sad. But the second and most important part of this mission was the fact that Ed White got to perform a spacewalk. So this seat right here, and then this would have had a door on it that Ed White used a handle that would have popped the door open, and then he would have wiggled his way out of there with this handheld maneuvering unit that used pressurized oxygen to push around so he could orient himself. So once he got outside of this capsule right here, he used that handheld maneuvering unit in literally space, just trying to control himself. And he found it pretty easy. It was okay. So he ended up going around the capsule, using a lot more fuel than he wanted to. And for about like 20 minutes, he was out there. And communication problems with James and ground control actually caused mission control to yell, "Get back in your capsule," because they had lost complete control with the ground. So when they screamed, "Get back in," he was really sad because he thought he could stay out there longer, but he was coming up upon the solar termination point where he would have gone into complete darkness, which would have been very dangerous. Anyway, so he got back in, they sealed the hatch, and then the mission went on. They did a lot more experiments, and this was the first multi-day space flight in the American history. So it's really cool. And then they re-entered Earth's atmosphere, and then if you look over right at the edge, you can see where the parachutes would have been. And that's where basically all of the flotation devices were. So after it landed, they would have hooked a collar on it, and the astronauts would have just gotten to pop out, and the divers would have just saved them. And then, yeah, so this is the Gemini IV capsule, and it's such an amazing piece of history. The first spacewalk. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Maybe hit the subscribe button and check out my other content. Have a great day. Our mission is to make you space intelligent.